Hello, everybody, and welcome to Final Show Films. I'm John, your executive producer here, and thanks for tuning in to watch or listen to whatever it is you're about to watch or listen to. In these trying times, we really do appreciate everyone that feels that we are worth their time, and we hope that we're able to give you something entertaining to while away the time as you spend it. We particularly want to thank those of you that feel like we're worth financially contributing to, particularly our $25 and up supporters on Patreon, who are Antitonic, Drevian Alexander, Cat Waterflame, Rowan Parker, and Samantha Bates. Yes, I read that off of a list. Thank you very much for supporting us. I know that in these uncertain times, finances are tough for everybody, so that you're willing to donate to us means a lot to all of us here, and we thank you. That being said, please sit back, relax, and enjoy. And we're live. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Gran, Terra, Shadowfront. Where the fuck did the name go? Oh, God.
That's a weird
Thursday,
name for an
right?
episode,
No,
John.
It is Thursday.
It's really Thursday.
It's Thursday.
It's Thursday because we
It's
have a Cody
Thursday.
here, and
It's
not a Craig or
Thursday.
a Holly.
It's also World Octopus Day, apparently.
Yes.
Fuck
yeah.
So consider No, there was a
We're
joke.
in the wrong game for that.
There was a
Because
joke that
Warlocks,
was
we
going to
had
come out of my
an
mouth, and I
octopus
stopped
an
it.
octopus lady.
I can turn into an octopus. Give me a chance.
You
I-
did turn into. Did you turn into an octopus? This
No.
was
Okay,
Going
so
going
if we
to,
do
and
a
then it
heist.
didn't
Hi,
we need to
everyone.
turn
I'm
into an
John, and I'm your
octopus.
game master. I'm joined this week by Nikki.
Never.
Hi, everybody. It's me, Nikki. I am playing Scuzz, the rogue, the little goblin boy. Black Lives Matter, Trans Lives Matter. Don't do digital blackface.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm also joined by Mara.
Hi, I'm Mara, and I'm playing Titania Valkorian, Aladdin Druid Princess, and occasionally an octopus.
Not yet. And Aaron.
Give me a
Hi,
chance.
my name is Erin. I'm playing Carolina, human barbarian, who, let's be real, wild magic is fucked up. If I turned into an octopus, it would not be the weirdest thing that has happened because I was angry.
Fuck no.
And the back of Jeremy's chair.
Hello, I'm Jeremy. I'm playing Ariel, ASMR Gunslinger, and I am dead.
I don't know what part of the proceedings killed Jeremy exactly, but something did.
Something good.
And William.
Hi, I'm William. I'm playing Valda Stonebeard, the dwarven samurai, who is decidedly not an octopus and cannot become an octopus unless someone turns her into an octopus.
Yes. Okay.
And Jack.
Hi everybody, I'm Jack. I'm playing Gent Minar, the half-elf spellslinger who believes that healing does matter in bronze and everybody should main Junkrat.
Yes! No.
If everyone mains Junkrat, then nobody's healing in bronze, which means healing doesn't matter in bronze. So, and Cody.
Hi, I'm Cody. I'm playing Ithram Valar, Hobgoblin War Wizard, here to make all of the octopuses larger.
They're already giant. It's
Yeah,
octopi. Octopi.
Huge.
There's debate about that.
Octopodes.
Octipodes. We're gonna make all the octipodes larger. When last we left off, the Steel Hearts had not yet been kicked out of an auction.
To be fair, it was our job to kick other people out of this auction if they start causing shit.
It was your job to keep an eye on other people and let the guards know that they should be kicked out of the auction, not to do it yourself.
Fair enough.
Yes.
Tomato, tomato.
Which is why I said have not yet been kicked out of the auction. But when we last left off, the staff we've borne, a staff of some power, had just been auctioned off for 1.2 million gold. And it was auctioned to a person who everyone that's in the auction room, which should be all of you at the moment, give me a history roll. And Carolina, you're also there. You've just been standing back in the corner, not associating with the rest of your party.
25.
I got a 20. I don't
Can
know why I
we
rolled at advantage.
retcon that as
that was
enacting my
insight.
plausible deniability by
Same roll.
ignoring them?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Thanks.
I rolled the wrong thing and then I rolled the right thing and got the same result.
Why'd you roll with advantage, Cody?
I don't know. It's just a 20.
Okay.
I had advantage on because right now he's under enhance ability.
Titania, why did you crit yourself with a Starmental Sickle?
Oh, I was testing
Okay.
before. That was before the stream started.
I didn't
So
know.
as much as I would like the natural 20, it's just a regular 20.
Well.
So yeah.
This is history.
That's
okay.
so nice.
History.
Beyond 20 made an update and it's so good. Thank you to the Beyond 20 people. I know that was probably not easy. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Oh, wow, that's interesting. Yes, they did make an update, and it is an interesting update.
I posted
don't know what it
about
is.
they did an update. They did a change log, and I posted
When you
about it.
when you click on the thing to roll, it doesn't pop it up. You don't have to go back over to roll 20 to hit the
Oh,
roll button there. You can do it within that same D&D, that same tab.
cool.
There's a few other changes that are quality of life.
That said, 6.
All right.
What's happening?
Scuzz, make a history roll.
A history roll.
Yeah.
Trying to see who bought this thing.
Well, no, you're trying to determine something specific. That a history roll
Yeah.
would be the thing that you would roll for.
Oh, that's weird. One sec.
Da, 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 da.
Why was that turned
da, da,
off?
da, da, da. Da, da,
My
da,
roll 20 was
da.
turned off.
da, 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 da.
Great.
Was it turned off, or were you just not logged in?
No, I'm logged in everywhere. I literally went to go click the thing and I couldn't roll.
Right.
But here we are.
All right. Well, so
I got a 12.
okay, so Ariel and Scuzz, the two of you see that the person that, was raising a paddle was referred to as the Lord Alton Sarnai. Valdeth also, yeah, you picked that up. Titania, just hitting the DC
Yes!
with a 15. Ithram, Gent, and Carolina can all tell that the person wielding the paddle is dressed in a very specific way, and there are other people around the room that are also dressed almost identical to this person, which makes them a
Proxy?
Yes, thank you, a proxy. You can tell by their form of dress that this is a proxy for the Lord Alton Sarnai. This is not the Lord Alton Sarnai directly who bid on this thing.
But they're bidding under the name of the person they're
Correct.
proxying.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Who is the person who won the staff?
Do I know who that is at all?
You can make me another history check.
Okay.
I got a 25. Okay.
Another one. This was that history check was to understand the garb of a proxy, because that's a very
Gotcha.
specific thing. If you
17.
16.
if you know that there is a proxy, Tanya, you've never met them. Gent, you have heard the name before. Or Gent and Ithram, you both have heard the name before. But you have no there's no face that's associated with the name as far as you can recall.
Do we know whether they are Taram nobility?
No,
or
they are not Tyrian nobility.
They are.
No,
Okay. They're.
they are a foreign power.
I mean, would I know the name Lord Alton Sarnai, even not recognizing
No.
a proxy?
Nope. The name does not ring a bell to anybody else.
Alright.
All right. But yeah, so the staff gets auctioned off. Everyone make me a perception and then an insight roll.
Oh, that.
Now I have advantage.
Oh, fail the perception.
12. And
Did really well on the inside.
16.
I'm going to
15
go.
and 12.
The numbers flashed by, so I'm going to go around and ask you what your results were once everyone's rolled.
Okay.
Also, Aaron stepped away, so Aaron, that's fine. William, what was your rolls?
I had a natural 1 for the perception, but a 24 for the insight.
Cool. You get a sense that something has happened, but something happened and you didn't notice it, and you're suddenly aware that some amount of tension changed.
I'm recognizing the aftermath and the people around me, even though I didn't see what actually happened.
Yeah. Titania, what did you get?
12 and a 16.
Also, you are recognizing you didn't see something happen, but you're recognizing that change in tension. Gent.
15 perception, 12 insight.
All right, Nikki. First guys.
19 perception, 24 insight.
Okay.
Nice.
Carolina, I need a perception and an insight roll from you. Ithram.
16 perception, 12 insight.
Okay. Carolina got a 14 perception and 18 insight. Sorry, you're muted there. Ariel.
It was just there.
Oh, there's
27 perception, 15 insight.
cool. So the rest of you, I believe you all your perception thresholds hit it. Yeah. You notice an individual being escorted out of the room by some of the guards. You also notice that it is the one that went up to check on the treasure room.
Okay.
Those of you that got an insight higher than 15, because I've already forgotten what everyone's insight scores were.
Higher than or 15 or higher?
15 or higher. So, yes, Ariel, you do get this read. With an insight check of 15 or higher, realized that he was not expecting to be taken away by the guards, and is not comfortable with the situation as it's happening.
Who is this? Sorry.
This was the person that, in response to Scuzz breaking into the vault room, sort of reacted and then walked upstairs.
Okay.
Not expecting, as in, I have no idea why I'm being arrested, or not expecting, as in, I didn't think I'd get caught.
A little bit of both.
Okay.
But the auction continues on. Nothing else out of the ordinary happens as far as you're all percepting, as far as all of you are aware from your perceptions. The soul stone never gets bid on. There's nothing. The surprise auctions come at the end, and they are a variety of antiquities, but none of them look like or are called a soul stone.
I'm gonna do a locate object.
Okay.
Hopefully quietly.
Gent is going to
Just-
try and assist
just in
because he was
case.
about to ask if she was going to, and so he's going to try and make it harder for people to notice she's casting a spell.
So give me a sleight of hand with either a sleight of hand or a stealth with advantage, one of the two.
I'll do stealth.
Okay.
They're both the same. With advantage?
Yes, because Gant is helping you.
Cool. 14.
So yeah, Gant, you sort of you move the brochure over in front of Titania and start loudly talking about the history of some item in there as Titania is casting spell, providing both visual and audio cover.
And she goes, Soulstone!
Very quietly this time, though.
Yeah,
good job.
Soulstone.
You get there's no pickup on it.
Okay.
And the auction ends. And people begin filing out. Gent, actually Ariel, a guard walks up to you and hands you a sealed envelope.
Thank you.
And then walks away.
What's the seal?
It's the Argyle Trading Company seal.
Okay. Open it up.
Inside is just a slip of paper that just gives you it's a message that says, wait until everyone has left, then come see me in my office, Galargal, and indicates 3rd floor.
Okay. We have a meeting once everybody has left. 3rd floor.
All right.
I didn't see it at all. Did anyone else see it? There was.
No.
I saw somebody get taken out, but don't know why.
Yes, and they were not
Did-
expecting it.
Sorry, John.
And
Did we ever see anything looking similarly like the necklace that Scuzz did not see?
Nope.
In the treasure room.
And
I feel like he said that over the pearl. But
There's every possibility it's being encased in lead or something that hides it from magical detection.
Mhm.
Yes.
It
Something
would
of that
be a
power and
pretty
value would
reasonable
be likely.
precaution for an item like that, regardless of the
Precisely.
situation.
What?
Well, let's wait for the room to clear out and then go see what the boss feels like talking about.
The room does eventually clear, and you all head up to the 3rd floor of this mansion. You're guided by the guards as they're stationed at various places to an office which opens up. It's a fairly for as opulent as the manor is, this office is fairly bare. Similar to the office that was back of the headquarters, where there were a few things of significance, but not a lot, on the walls, and not a lot of statuesque. This is even less. There's not even that many things of significance. There is just a desk with some paperwork and with Kalar Gall sitting there. A number
Fairly
of chairs.
Spartan.
Yeah, a number of chairs in front of the desk for you all to take. As you come in, please close the door behind you and have a seat.
Doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Would like to thank you for your services as well as provide you your payment. He says, indicating to a small chest on the desk that seems to have been set aside.
We'll slide it over and take a look inside.
Inside there is 10,000 gold.
All right.
Also would like to thank for your extracurricular activities, he says, looking directly at Scuzz. We were able to find a mole within our organization who was apparently planning on swapping one of our pieces out for a fake, so thank you.
no problem.
Now, whatever would the group of you be looking for a soul stone for?
Valdeth kind of reads the room for a minute and sort of takes a second. Well, why would a group of adventurers be looking for something that potentially potent when none of us are, say, necromancers?
He doesn't give you anything. He asked a question and he's waiting for his answer, basically.
That is a dangerous thing that poses a threat not just to us, but potentially to the entirety of Tiram, and the only lead we've got on a way to deal with it is using a soul stone.
And you just happened to come to my place of employment, looking for one.
You're the
we
only lead
researched
we
you.
potentially had to find one.
He sort of slides his gaze across the group of you. It just so happens that I do know where you might find one. And I'm inclined to provide this information for good workers. Though I will need more specific details.
Specific
Can I get
details
an
regarding
insight
which
check?
aspect?
Sure.
Not-
Yeah.
Go ahead and give me
Not
insight checks.
saying that I'll get anything off of it, just
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I'll try that as well.
before everyone spills our
Nah.
guts.
24. Ahem.
The first random person to find out we were looking
Yeah,
for
let
the
me-
thing we left.
At least I'm consistently rolling 12 for
20.
12 is a
insight.
good number.
8.
14.
I love that Scuzz gets these flashes of brilliance every so often.
That's
you know,
how
they're
you
fucking
keep him
amazing.
around.
Yeah. yeah.
So none of you
Some-
get anything off of him. But Scuzz, with your 24, is you're sort of like looking at his face and like sort of trying to get anything and getting nothing. You're pretty certain this is not a human. Like, he looks like a human. He talks like a human. But you have never before known a human that is able to control their facial muscles to this degree. Humans have all manner of weird subconscious things they do with their face at all times. This person is acting more like a marble statue than a human. They just happen to have flesh and be breathing.
Does he answer
More
Gen's
than we can
question?
say for you.
Sorry. I didn't hear Gen's question. What was the question?
Oh, okay. Further details, or specific details on which particular aspects?
The reason you feel a soul stone is necessary.
Are you aware of the thing that is at the center of the Shadowfront?
No.
Essence fragment of some divine entity.
Definitely Eidos.
That one.
We believe a soulstone may help encapsulate and sequester this,
Well,
possibly.
It's an option.
Yes.
It's
a
something to
source of disputable trustfulness made the claim, and it is substantiated by more reliable data.
It is interesting that you have been led to me, then. Because I happen to know the location of a soul stone that would be the exact thing you are looking for, as it already houses a shard of Eidos. Unfortunately...
Please tell me it's not the top of the crystal of that staff that was just purchased for 1.2 million.
No.
Oh, good.
Unfortunately, this soulstone in particular was removed from the possession of the Argol Trading Company some 5,000 years ago. I can, however, point you to the individual that has it.
And would you happen to be willing to share their name?
Certainly.
I have a bad premonition.
What? How? I'm trying to remember how long ago did our
Fucking hell.
Oh, was that Tanya?
how the not Geist, what are they called? The guy who came from the not like through a portal through the Nine Hells when we were first at the wall. How long ago did he say that was?
10,000 years ago.
10,000 years ago? Okay.
Yeah, Nautilus.
Yeah,
Cool.
Nautilus.
Yeah, that was it. All right, carry on. Sorry.
The individual in particular is a lich by the name of Raihor.
That's going to be a task.
Sorry, named what?
Raihor.
Right.
Previous.
I'm
Oh.
just for shits and giggles. Is that a name that might be familiar with a successful roll of something?
Make an Arcana check with advantage for you in particular.
Did I just make that one flat?
No.
Oh, okay.
Would I?
This is very specifically for Ariel.
Carolina does not-
16.
Oh, sorry.
Raihor was the master of the necromancer you had been sent to kill, or to get a hold of.
He gets very, very still and just stares.
Could I make an Arcana check given my background or no?
No, this isn't information that you would have access to.
Okay.
What part of the world might
So
we
Carolina
find this
just snickers
Rhyhorn?
at the name because
Right.
you picked that name, John.
It's true. It's true.
I'm always a slut for certain types of bread.
In answer to Gen's question of where. When last journals wrote about this particular lich, he had been established on an island amongst the Shattered Lands. Which one in particular, I am not certain.
The Shattered Lands are the islands to the east, not the islands to the west, yeah?
It's the islands between this continent and Eos Corva, yeah. They were a series of islands that were once part of Eos Corva until something happened and they were no longer a part of it.
Climate
How
change is a hell of a
recently
thing.
was that information?
What was that, Aaron?
How recently was that information?
That would be from a journal several hundred years old. No older than 300, though.
Which, when we're talking on a scale of thousands, that's a relatively brief time.
Fairly. As far as I'm aware, no adventurers have eliminated this particular individual, and it is something that I would know.
Have
Sorry,
any of
it's
the
difficult to.
All right, three of you started talking at the same time. Ithram, you first.
Did any of the previous heads of the Aragal Trading Company try to recover this soulstone, or was
There were
it's
three.
a lich? So I would understand if you.
There were 3 expeditions sent. None of them successful. Presumably, the corpses of those adventurers have added to the Lich's army.
Yeah.
Gent.
Gent was just making a comment that's not terribly surprising, as liches are notoriously difficult to eliminate.
Seems likely.
Well, that's going to be a task.
Well, for what it's worth, if the group of you are able to retrieve it, I fully relinquish any and all ownership that my company might have over the stone.
Good.
Thanks.
There's a way.
There's always a way. It's going to be a hell
But
of a
it
thing.
sounds
There's
like
a
you know
specific
something.
directional way.
That.
Raihor employs, as imagine most lichers do, necromancers.
At
We
least
get to one of them. We have an opening.
in particular, this lich employs a cabal. The Cabal of the Fractured Skull. They have a symbol and everything. Club meetings. You get the sense he's making a joke at that last one, but his face gives away no humor.
Newsletter, perhaps.
What's a
I'm
symbol look
always
like?
up for beating up people who abuse magic.
In response to Ariel's question, he opens up a journal, pulls out a quill, and very quickly sort of sketches a symbol, spins it, puts it forward. It's a skull that has cracked down from the top of the skull down through one eye, and the teeth are like jagged teeth in a rictus grin.
Look, does it look familiar?
You have definitely seen that symbol on robes
Yep.
and books before.
Yep.
Question: have I ever seen that symbol anywhere?
Give me a history check.
I'm assuming, given where I grew up, I have no idea.
No.
22.
Yes, Ithram, you have. There's another legion of hobgoblins. The Withered Green Legion is one that operates on the northern end of Desolation, and you guys have pointedly stayed away from. Your legion has pointedly stayed away from. They're called the Withered Green Legion because most of their legionnaires are zombies.
Yeah.
And that symbol is on their banner.
Yeah, that makes a whole lot more sense now to Ithram. Or what was the name of the Cabal? The Order of the Shattered Skull?
Just the Shattered Skull.
The Shattered Skull.
Yes.
Cabal of the Shattered Skull.
Yeah.
1 second.
You can order it either the Cabal, the Shattered Skull, or the Shattered Skull Cabal. Either way.
Okay.
I mean, which one is the accurate term?
Depends on who's referring to it.
Okay.
Like as far as like the name of the Cabal is the Shattered Skull. So like
Yeah.
when typically like from your experience, Ariel, when cults refer to their own, they go with the more aggrandized version of the Cabal of the Shattered
That's
Skull.
true.
But when other people refer to them, they typically refer to them as the Shattered Skull Cabal.
Rolls off the tongue a little better.
So, John, correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't the vision's indication that the whatchamajig was in the city, the Soulstone?
The wording was you will find it in Taram.
Right.
Whether or not that meant you would find where it is in Taram, or you would find it physically in Taram is up for interpretation.
Well, if it's not physically in Taram, I have some serious questions about our shadowy figure and how he knows what he knows.
That's a question for another day. Right now,
We keep putting it off, but there are a lot of dangerous things that a soul stone that already has a shard of Eidos in it could be used for. No
Okay.
offense.
Like
It's-
power,
We better table
like-
those discussions for later.
like powering
Yeah.
an army of the undead.
Yeah. And I think that we need to stop tabling the why are we trusting that guy.
That one we can have over dinner tonight, yes. Gent is
Thanks.
probably very not subtly communicating. Don't have these conversations in somebody else's office.
Scuzz looks up.
Definitely
You
at,
get
have
the
them.
distinct, if you have any insight at all, you get the distinct sense that Carolina is picking up what you're putting down and throwing it directly in the garbage.
Very fair.
This here
Very
belongs
fair.
here.
No, yes, I have received the message and I am ignoring it.
Scuzz looks up at oh my god, why did I just blank on the guy's name?
Cal.
Al?
Cal.
Cal, thank you. Cal, thank you. Looks up at him and he's just like, are you a real person?
Cal looks down at Scuzz. Yes.
Where Scuzz found a cup full of drink, you don't know. You don't like sniffle. I like rub your eye
He looks down
or
at you.
make smacking noises with your mouth.
He looks down at you and very pointedly goes,
You mean there's a fly sitting on his head and he hasn't moved to brush it away?
weirdly, there are no pests in this room whatsoever.
That's actually pretty normal for a well-upkept room.
Surprise, surprise! If you have a well-kept room, pests don't come in there. Wild.
Before the advent of insulation, bug spray, and bug zappers, you'd get at least one fly in most rooms.
Oh, that's bullshit. You're telling me no mage has ever gone, I can make a bug zapper with this magic lightning power.
Absolutely. There is a mage that makes a living
It's-
by going around and just shocking, grasping
No,
the air
just
and
You
making
make
bugs
a
fall.
really low power electro bulb and you stick it in a cage and it is a light already and it will zap the bugs.
Absolutely, there are bug zappers.
Somebody's
The
made a
modified
charge.
alarm spell.
There is definitely an artificer who has made all of those things.
But yeah,
I mean, to be fair, in the modern era where we have bug zappers and insulation, every summer flies will get everywhere in this goddamn house.
true. Also true.
Yeah, I mean house versus conference hall for fancy gathering.
Oh, yeah. But no, there are no insects in this room. Is the point?
Right, well, thank you for the information. I think we had best be on our way. If you need our services in the future, please don't hesitate to contact us.
Certainly.
Is your real name Connor?
No.
Gent is just dragging Scuzz out of the room now.
I'm so confused.
Ariel, the second there's any kind of insinuation of this is done is just up and out.
Yep.
Bye.
Farewell.
Thank you for the information.
Nods.
And the payment, of course.
Obviously.
Turn around and head out as well.
Yeah.
As soon as we're off the grounds, Ithram will turn and say, I've seen that symbol before. It is this banner of the Withered Green Legion.
That sounds ominous.
I assume they're not just druids who really like overgrown plants.
Absolutely not. No, their primary infantry is reanimated corpses. And that is the banner that they carry.
Yes.
That's a
Knowing
place
that it
to
is
go.
now associated with the Lich, it makes more sense.
Yep.
For the immediate moment, by the way, your payout, Valdez says handing out bags is 1,428 gold, 5 silver, 7 copper.
Thank you for doing the math, D&D Beyond.
What was it?
1,428 gold, 5 silver, 7 copper.
For once, Ariel is not there immediately to collect the money, but I'm putting it down on the sheet proactively. Because she is just beelining it out of the place.
Also, you didn't have a name for that necromancer yet, did you?
I did not, and I was actually going to ask you about that. I specifically didn't pick a name, so you
it's,
could. I would assume I'd know.
Yeah, you know, it's Siamon. Siamon. Or sorry, Siamion.
Siamion.
Siamon.
I'm putting the spelling in my notes now, even though I understand Ariel hasn't shared that.
Siamon. Servant of Rhyhor.
That's someplace else speaking. No, I didn't like that we told him all of that.
I mean, we weren't going to get anything else if we didn't at that point. And now we actually have a lead and a location.
There's decent odds he knows a lot of this. Merchants are the first one to hear stories. But aside from that, I wanted him to know that there was someone in the city who had an in-depth enough of knowledge of the history of his catalog to point us in his direction for a soul stone. Because we don't have the resources to investigate the shadowy figure. but he does. And
Yeah.
he may choose to share that information with us, but he certainly will take some sort of action if that person has a world-ending plan, because we're selling people goods and services.
I have one question.
Oh,
Scuzz,
my
why
internet
did
is
you-
unstable. Okay, that's what that
Oh,
was.
sorry.
No, it's
was
fine. No,
I
I believe we got the gist of what you were saying, but like your audio cut out in the middle of that sentence, and then you came back in at the end of it, and then I got a notification saying your internet connection is unstable. So it's like,
Got it.
TLDR for the people watching the stream. He's richer than us. He can find it out for himself.
you did
Yeah.
just collect several million gold.
And then
And that wasn't his entire budget.
Scuzz, what did you mean by were they a real person?
Yeah.
Sorry, I did try to wait until we were done talking to them, but I have seen a lot of people that I still only vaguely know. He don't act like not human, excuse me, like a person does when they're talking to you. Even people that think they're tough shit, that think they've got it all, they have like tics, like small ones. This man don't tick. Unless he's a robot, then he definitely ticks. But again, not like a human do. It's a person.
Well, human's the correct, because he does look like a human, so human is the correct terminology to be using.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because elves,
Still don't.
because
Like-
elves do have that thing where
Yeah.
elves can talk to you without any muscle in their face moving. Humans can't, which is why it was something that you distinctly
Okay.
picked out.
Okay. I seen a lot of humans. That man don't act like a human.
So either he's a changeling who's bad at doing it, or he's something much more powerful.
I'm going to
Or
lean on that
the
second one.
original person is just using him and they just don't want to be seen. Again, like, you see some weird shit.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
he
yes, we
definitely
have.
could be a meat puppet of some variety or another.
A small person inside of a robot.
I'm just imagining Men in Black 1. Yeah. Find the Ryan's belt.
Which really, if he had just said, oh, find Orion's collar, that would have made that whole thing way shorter.
The logic of that movie works on inconvenience.
I wasn't like trying to. No, I definitely was trying to call him out because, like, if he is someone other than a human and he knows this stuff, I don't know. It ticked me off because he didn't tick, so it ticked me off.
What color were his eyes?
Yellow.
Gold's not a
Given-
natural human eye color, if I recall correctly.
Not common.
It's a magic color.
You can give me a medicine check. Anyone who wants to.
He was
Then
wearing those
again-
cool gothic Halloween contacts.
And
That's
again,
5.
we're-
I have
you're
no
walking
solid
with
answer
an
on that.
actual full human whose natural hair color is purple. So,
Yeah.
2.
Maybe. You
Could
can
I
be.
make a Arcana check of some sort for what variety of creature could be exhibiting what Scuzz describes?
Either Arcana or Religion.
We're gonna go with Arcana because I can use my dubious knowledge on that.
Yeah.
So advantage, and even if I fail, I get to find out things. 24.
So the kinds of creatures that can do the thing that Skuz is referring to are things of Fey ancestry. Things of basically anything of extraplanar ancestry. So things whose ancestry does not originate in the mortal plane. So elves,
Fae, fiends,
like elves, fae, fiends, celestials. Like ASMR can do that. Elves can do that. Eladrin, Ganassi can do that. But like dwarves, orcs, goblins, hobgoblins, like all the material realm races cannot do that.
So he's likely to some extent from another plane.
Which also means, by the way, changelings cannot. Changelings.
No.
So like a changeling, that's one of the ways you can tell a changeling is disguised as an elf, because they will have facial tics that elves don't have.
I was thinking changelings don't have faces in their natural form, and thus probably had different.
They do. It's just a very specific kind of face.
Anyways,
It's an unfinished face.
Yeah.
before we get too deep into Eberron.
Yeah, don't get us started there.
You know, because but for the purposes of your role, because they are material plane originating, they do have those tics.
Well, excluding that, there's also the possibility he's any number of powerful creatures like a fae or a fiend. Any of the races not from the material realm, Asamar, Ganassi, the elves, those sorts of can generally maintain that kind of emptiness.
So, not necessarily anything terrible or something like that. I just didn't want us to know.
Yeah, it's weird, but our weird bar needs to be raised because Lady Titania's grandfather is an archfey.
Mm-hmm. So, okay, I guess we'll kind of go off that and see what happens.
We've got an actual lead on the thing now. So.
Scuzz, you don't know where you got it, but there's a cream puff in your hand. You became aware of it when Carolina said the words archfey.
He totally eats it. He's just like,
Hey, I didn't call him by name. I know some of the rules.
Snack on it.
Yeah, we have a lead. Ariel has something, right?
Ariel is not there.
Okay, cool. Sorry.
Like I said, she walked off and she kept going.
Yeah, I think
I
you said
think
something about there being...
might benefit from asking around a little more, just because while Ithram's lead is very good, it's going to take us a while to get to
Desolation.
To Desolation, pretty much whatever route we take. So researching here where we have a little more access to information before we head out would...
Speaking of, before she gets too far out, Valdeth will tap the stone and just
Link pearl.
The link pearl. Audio, where are you headed?
I haven't decided. I will tell you when I get there. Well,
Well,
I'll probably be too far away, but
try and tell us before you get out of link pearl range, so we're not having another manhunt.
What is link pearl range again?
You will definitely be outside of link pearl range.
I was gonna say, I feel like I'm about 3 feet. 3 feet within maximum link pearl range right now.
Send us a postcard from wherever you go.
300 feet is the range.
Yeah. So I will most certainly click.
As Ariel steps out of the range.
Yeah, looks to Valdeth. I thought we were giving her space.
I just wanted to not have a manhunt when another person disappears and doesn't give us any indication of where they're at.
That's fair. I trust Ariel to get back if she's hungover, though.
That's not the thing I'm particularly concerned about. The thing I am concerned about is that had a particularly significant impact on audio. And Audio is very confident and assertive at the best of times. And I would not put it past her to go and shake someone down and start a fight after being aggressively given some kind of unsettling information.
Cut to Ariel, where are you going?
Honestly, no. She's not going anywhere like that because the only reason being she doesn't have a lead to go to.
Mhm.
If she did, she would be currently like holding somebody by their ankle about 300 feet in the air. But
So Valdeth was not unreasonably concerned.
this is true, but like I said, fortunately, she doesn't have any place that she knows that she can go to.
They're just wandering.
So she's just going to get. She's going to like the shitty districts that she is particularly familiar with
Mhm.
to just find somewhere to drink.
All right. So, the rest of you. Where are you going?
Well, I was gonna maybe go up to the Druid Circle or over to the Druid Circle. Yeah, we're down to the Druid Circle, whatever layer we're on.
You're currently in day.
To
You
ask
need to go,
about
so you over to the Druid. Actually, no,
Yeah.
down. You need to go down.
down to the Druid Circle to ask about that Druid. I don't know if that's connected at all, but I don't know. I was curious. I also have in finding leads and asking questions. I pull out the bag of fireflies. And before we leave the city, could use them.
That's one direction to go. You want two of us to come along? Valdeth says, indicating herself again.
Yeah, unless you have other leads you want to follow. I don't know. That's just what I got.
Just as a reminder, while other things have come up, we were initially asking because we were trying to figure out what the thing that was pausing us in time and having us communicate with the shadowy figure was, and we thought that it might be related to one of our extraplanar ancestries, Ariel's, Gent's, or yours.
I thought we kind of figured that one out already, because when I went to go talk to the Archbishop,
Yeah,
that's when we
It
all kind
triggered
of
again.
realized things.
And
Yeah.
also, we learned that another member of the royal family was having that same experience.
I don't know who.
That's correlation, and both of those are good, but if this person can tell you exactly what your divine ancestry is doing, they could give us a much clearer picture of what's actually happening.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so I'll go and I'll do the lightning.
I'm not
bolts.
intruding. That's a thing that affects everyone, and it would be great to find out more about it.
you pull the string on the bag.
Yeah. I'll do
You
that.
Pull the string on the bag, and a series of fluorescent blue dots just sort of unleash from the bag in this cloud of glowing blue as they sort of swirl around you and then fly off in a direction.
Oh, the scout flies already have a trace.
Following them. Are they going really fast?
They're going at a
or-
moderate pace.
Okay, I'm following.
Oh, Ken, come on. Valdeth will follow after.
I was implicitly not invited, so I'm not following.
Well, no, if people want to come, I don't know. I'm going. Bye.
Let
Hope
me
you
see.
want.
Hold on. Scuzz comes with you.
Okay.
Scuzz runs off after.
Yeah, no, he'll go. He'll join in. He does not realize that this is potentially a partners only quest.
Ithram?
No, he's gonna stay back.
Carolina will look over to Ithram. Want to help me fix the obstacle course in the backyard?
Sure.
All right.
Awesome.
This is the one who actually destroyed it, ran off.
Oh no, I fully expect that it will regularly be destroyed. It's just an excuse to make a new one.
You need to find the
At least you now know
name.
what happens if 120 swords go spearing through it.
True. True.
The next one we built to withstand 140.
Don't get into a one-upsmanship contest with the Izzet. You will lose.
One-upsmanship is what the is
No.
it do.
I'm not
Slaps
doing
Beanie.
that.
Slaps Beanie. This thing holds so many swords.
No. I don't know where we're going first. I do have
So-
another thing I want to do when we get home.
Valdeth, Titania, Gent, and Skuz, following as the largest group of people. Follow. You follow these blue firefly-esque things as they sort of flit around, and they eventually
Watch out for giant fire-breathing T-Rexes.
They eventually take you to the river, and then follow along the river,
Ooh, okay.
and then they dive over the waterfall.
All right.
Well, now the fun part.
I guess we'll turn in they dive over the bottom of the waterfall or up.
If you look at the map of Taram, you see how
Yeah.
there's a waterfall as it descends each layer.
Yep.
They just
Okay.
over the water, over the falls, down, out of sight.
All right. I really want to follow that. You all are annoyingly human.
Valdeth looks at Titania.
Annoyingly
Go after it. You need to
Okay.
keep up with that. We'll follow as best we can.
All right. Follow the octopus. You turn into an octopus and leap off into the water.
All right, you get into the water
Follow it.
as you
Yep.
are launched over the waterfall because, as far as I'm aware, octopi are not a particular kind of creature meant to go down waterfalls.
Not
No.
specifically, no.
You sort of get launched into the air as you look down and you cannot see where the fireflies went
Oh no.
and begin to fall.
Oh no.
Gent is slippers of spider climbing, running as quick as he can down the wall. Sorry, of.
So you just
Taram.
step over you up the rail, over the top, down the edge.
Yep.
There's a guard going, wait, what are you? Oh, never mind. As you get up and start walking, it's like, we're not liable.
Valdeth being the mundane person here, just runs down the stairs as fast as she can.
Titania, you're falling.
Yep.
This goes down the waterfall.
And falling. Skuz falling after. And all of a sudden, you're not falling anymore.
Oh.
You are a giant octopus holding its breath, sitting in an armchair at a table.
I turn back into me.
Again, you watch Titania vanish from midair.
The Scuzz fall into the
And then
river.
Skuz also vanishes in midair. Titania, Skuz is now sitting on an armchair next to you.
Hi,
I was
Scott.
waiting for him to like land in her lap. That would have been great.
Did the others follow you?
Uh,
No, they didn't go over the waterfall.
the Titania, there is the table and Skuz. The table in front of you is decorated with like a 5-course feast. Any kind of food you could imagine is there, and there is at the far end of it there is an individual that looks like a human but has this sort of unearthly air about them that tells you magic of some kind. It says, well, Philandrel told us that somebody would be dropping by, and apparently it's you.
Scuzz has a bucket of mashed potatoes.
This person is male looking, long white hair hanging down past the shoulders. If you were guessing based on his face, like, he looks like, white hair aside, he looks like he's mid-30s, early 40s.
Okay.
Wearing sort of light blue casual, fairly casual looking clothes. They don't look particularly wealthy or noble, but and he's currently stirring a pot with one hand and serving food onto the table with the other. We've never met.
No, hi, I'm Titania.
Estienne Cadwallader. I'm your great grandfather.
Yes.
Yes. He's sort of like, as he counts, you're from Sargon's side of the family, so it's a shorter list.
Uh-huh. And this is Scuzz, my friend.
Welcome,
Scuzz
Scuzz.
Buckets.
Gent, what you doing hanging on the side of the wall?
Oh, Jack
Oh,
just
Jack
stepped
stepped
away.
away.
For a second.
Oops.
Valdez.
John, you're where? Frozen.
Am I frozen?
Not for me.
Am I frozen?
Yes, you were frozen
Pause for a
Shit.
second.
for me, but you're not frozen anymore.
You're not frozen.
just for a
Neither of
split
you are
second.
frozen for me.
That was
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
scary.
Valdeth.
I mean, Valdeth makes it to the bottom of the stairs and sees that they've both vanished,
Yeah.
and just sort of looks at Gant and sort of waves him over to where she's standing.
Well, we'll see what
And if he responds, then
Get might not be there anymore, so we'll see about that when Jack gets back. Titania, and this guy's back to you guys. Okay, Jack, there you are.
Yeah. So, at what point did Titania vanish?
Roughly halfway down the waterfall.
Having run down the wall along the side, he would stop kind of roughly at the point that she vanished. Can he see anything?
No?
He just jumps off the wall and tries to kind of hit the waterfall roughly about the point where she vanished.
And the current takes you down. Give me
Okay.
Actually, would you like to try out your new toy?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you fire
I
off
forgot
the
you have a grappling hook.
the
Yep.
water starts to take you away. You fire off the grappling hook, hit the wall, and swing back out and over. At roughly this point, Valdeth, you see a soaking wet Gant hanging from a grapple from the wall.
Valdeth will walk over and underneath him. You think you can make it to the wall, or you need me to catch you?
Backup catch would be lovely. Yes,
Well,
thank you, love.
I'm standing right here, ready to catch.
And he's gonna release and try and make it.
Give me an acrobatics check.
Okay, that is his bad physical skill. 9.
Swing, unhook. Ah!
I make an athletics check
Yep,
to catch him.
athletics check to catch.
20.
Nice.
Caught.
I ever mentioned how much I love the
Thank you.
guy falling into the lady's arms, the lady catching him things?
Yes, the strong dwarven muscles of Valdeth catch the lithe half-elven frame of Gant very easily.
Don't talk about my ships like this, John. They're beautiful, okay?
Oh, that sets him down. Gent,
Wow.
question's kind of completely out of the blue, so I understand if it's odd. You'd never change your mind about the three of us, yeah?
No.
Sorry, it's
Why?
I had a bad dream last night, and it's nothing, and I'm sure it's just stress, but it's
Is this
been
the sort of bad
bothering
dream
me.
that we talk about on a walk, or is this the sort of bad dream that we talk about in a cafe? He just points at whatever one is closest, which I assume you can find one here somewhere.
Oh yeah.
Sure, let's find a quiet corner and sit down.
All right.
The two of you find a cafe and sit down. Before we get to that,
Yeah.
Caroline and Ithram. So are the two of you just heading straight home?
I believe Carolina had something else they wanted to do before we headed home.
I think that this thing entails heading straight home.
Okay. So
Okay.
after a little while, the two of you get back to the house.
When we get there, I want to track down where the Foodomatic ended up.
I believe it's still on the roof.
Still on the roof.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll pull myself up onto the roof.
There are several plates of like fried bird sitting around the Foodomatic or the Foodotron 3000?
Whole bird or like just
Whole
torso
bird.
of the bird?
Whole bird. Yeah.
Very impressive that
Ooh.
birds manage to. I wonder if it's food magnetic.
I'm sorry, what?
Garnished and
come down off
everything.
the
They
roof.
smell good.
I will get them down because I don't really want to start a like those will rot eventually, and I don't want them rotting on our roof while we're on vacation.
Make a perception check.
Both of us?
No, just whoever's up on the roof. So,
14.
are you also up on the roof with them? Yeah.
8.
Carolina, you see a squirrel on the other side of the rooftop, glaring daggers at you.
Can I make an intimidation roll?
Sure, go ahead.
It stares daggers at you. You throw an actual dagger at it.
I'm just waiting for the natural one.
Throwing anything. Never mind.
You like growl at the squirrel, and like 4 more squirrels appear.
Squirrels are terrible.
You know what? No, I'm not being beaten by a squirrel. I will rage.
I've seen.
Oh my god!
Is this
What
a
The
Rick and
squirrels
practical
explode! As the squirrels explode!
It might turn blue.
I mean, kind of.
So-
That's what happened.
Ithram, make a dexterity saving throw.
I'm sorry. I didn't.
Oh
It's
my
all right.
god!
It's all right. I get a +1 because of my new
Good
fancy
news?
cloak.
They don't go. They go out this way. They're not going to blow up the roof.
19.
Okay, you managed to avoid getting hit by one.
Okay.
So,
I didn't really
There's only
mean to
one.
vaporize the squirrels. I just meant to scare them.
a flumph flies out
Yep.
towards the squirrels and explodes. They got natural 20s on their saving throw, though. So after the flumph explodes, there's just like a hole in the roof with one bit that's still solidly standing there, and all 5 squirrels still on that bit staring at you.
Wait,
These squirrels have evasion.
Seriously, our roof is a 10 damage roof. That's not a very strong roof.
The roof, there's not, like, the hole isn't, like, all the way through. There's attic space and stuff underneath it. But yeah, there's just a small
No,
hole
my
there.
point is the amount of damage you need to do to damage a structure should
Yeah.
be more than 10 force damage.
is that damage really all or nothing?
For some fucking reason,
Yeah,
yes.
It's all or nothing.
Huh.
It's not succeed or take half. It's succeed
Huh.
or take the damage.
But there was just an explosion in front of the squirrels. Do they want to reevaluate how scared they are of me, maybe?
Let's see. Hang on.
I mean, explosions are pretty serious.
Do the squirrels want to make a wisdom save
that's
to
what I'm-
realize that
that's-
this is dangerous?
That's what I'm
I had the
rolling.
weirdest combats on roof. First, it was a cake elemental. Now it's a gang
Oh
of
my god,
squirrels.
Xbox Live, get out of my way.
They got another natural 20. Tyrion squirrels don't give a fuck.
I love them.
Wow.
my
I mean,
favorite now.
they're
And we
look,
hire these
squirrels,
squirrels.
pigeons, and
Yeah.
monkeys. Don't. If you're in a
Here-
city and you see them, don't fuck with them.
No, you know what?
Or
At
possums.
this point, Caroline's just gonna be like, whatever fucking druid trained you is gonna kick him. Something up there. Titania!
He's not here. They left a while ago.
Yeah, but these are definitely her fucking squirrels.
Oh,
They're judging
God.
me.
I feel that they may just be squirrels. Have you run into these particular squirrels before? Is there a reason that you are this angry at these particular squirrels?
Vendetta.
You don't have the common sense to be afraid. Anyways. And I will retrieve the Foodotron. I'm gonna go hide this under my bed, and on pain of I'm not actually gonna threaten you, you're my friend, don't tell anyone. Tell them the squirrels made off with it.
Are you taking the fried birds with you?
You know what? I'm gonna make an improvised weapon attack and throw one of the birds at the squirrel.
Okay, go ahead.
Because I'm technically raging right now.
This is
Just a
strength
reminder.
based.
It's strength based.
Can you recklessly throw?
Yeah, you can recklessly throw.
Yeah, you can make reckless range attacks.
Reckless attack, which I forgot I had until very recently.
Ah,
I know, that's why. I said it.
Please, please give me a natural one. Please.
Yes,
give me
Ithram
a
is just
natural
seeing
one.
Carolina lose it at a bunch
I
of
really,
squirrels.
really hope that they take this as an opportunity.
Fucking hell!
oh my
What's
god.
the AC of a squirrel? Because I can't imagine I hit.
10.
Less, higher than 9, I'm pretty sure.
It's 10. As the food
Yeah.
goes over the edge of the roof and they follow it
Uh-huh.
down.
I really like
Actually-
the idea that this is what they were waiting for you to reckless attack.
I've
so
got
they could go in and
inspiration.
attack with advantage.
Yes.
Are you gonna
I've
throw
got
an
inspiration.
at
Can I
these
use
squirrels?
that?
Yeah, sure.
Oh
What
my
does
God.
inspiration do this time?
Just
Another D20.
roll another one. And you can pick which one you
Please
want
roll a wolf.
There
Okay.
you go.
Okay, so yeah, you hit one of the squirrels and it goes flying in the middle of the food, and then the other squirrels follow after.
All right.
To be sure,
Good
that's
enough.
got to be a pretty dead fucking squirrel.
Yeah, especially because rage damage on
Oh, yeah.
top of the 3 damage from my strength.
I don't know. These squirrels are apparently carnivorous, so.
Yeah. Anyways,
But-
I'm just gonna go
I won't.
put the Foodatron under my bed or somewhere else that's hidden in my. No, you know what? I'm gonna put it behind my fake bookcase.
Well, we
I'm
do have
going
to return
to-
it to the Izet eventually.
Actually, yeah.
We were the testers, if I remember
Mm-hmm.
the deal with that Scuzz had made initially. So
Okay, there's like a drop box at the Izit College or something. I'm
Yeah.
sure.
Absolutely.
yes.
Does the mail system send packages or just letters?
Yes, it sends packages as well.
Okay.
It sends a
I'm
goblin.
gonna get a
like-
box. I'm gonna put it in the box. Put it to Is It Experimental Returns or
It is.
whatever else it is.
Uh-huh.
Ithram,
Put it in
do
the
you put
mailbox.
do you put the journal that Scuzz was keeping all of this test notes in there with it? He'll be very sad if that's gone and the notes did not go with it.
Did.
Scuzz took
Carolina
notes.
is
Yeah, I know
act-
Scuzz took notes, but did he? Like, did he just keep the journal in his room?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then Scuzz or Ithram will be like, well, before you seal it, and then toss the notebook in there. It is science after all.
It's magic.
Well, before he actually tosses it in, he will write that it does cook birds fairly well, and then
Thanks.
Abe and Carolina will actually add to that. Simple enough to operate a squirrel could do it. Our house was almost destroyed by a squirrel.
I mean, you definitely see in the journal in really bad, like
Both of
chicken
you-
writing with like
both-
Crayola crayon, the notes that he has taken, like can produce a soup elemental. Soup
Both-
elemental hurts
both-
really bad.
Both of you make me a perception check again now that you're on the ground floor.
it's been
my
over
God,
an hour, so I
are we
don't
gonna get
have
invaded by squirrels.
No.
advantage anymore. Natural
22.
one.
Ithram, you're focused on this thing. Carolina, you see off in the distance, it looks like if you were to staple a bunch of fried chickens into a golem of some kind, currently fighting with some other griffins like down the street.
Uh,
The squirrels made a chicken golem.
Well, they're gonna eat well tonight.
I'm just glad that one didn't destroy our roof. But we're gonna tell people that the hole in our roof came from a golem created by a squirrel.
What construct are you talking about?
I'll point in the right. direction and presumably.
Yeah, you can see. You didn't hear it, but you can definitely see it when Carolina points it out.
Oh. Oh, yes, that is quite the problem.
It's
Do they
kinda
seem to be
normal
handling
around
it?
Oh yeah,
here.
no, there's like 10 griffins on it right now, just riding it to the ground.
Kind of
Okay.
normal around here. I'm sure we'll hear from the homeowners association.
John, I need to know: are they choking the chicken?
No, they're impaling the chicken.
Fair enough.
And yeah, the Foodatron is going back to
Nikki,
Yeah,
you're a
big
bad person.
big
Before
letters need
someone-
work.
burns our house, like makes a coffee elemental and burns our house down.
This is what happens when you leave the Foodatron on the roof.
The squirrels
Well,
try it.
I
and-
wasn't here. It's not my fault.
No, it's not.
I mean, there, like I said, there were like 6 or 7
Actually,
plates of
You know what?
fried
I'm
bird.
gonna assume that we have one of those passive aggressive roommate boards of like notes.
Look at this
If
Griffin
not-
company. You obviously do.
Yeah, and Carolina is gonna get out the stationery or whatever, write on one of them. Please do not leave magical items simple enough to be operated by wild varmints on our roof.
Varmints.
Varmints. It's a good word. Meanwhile,
I know they're not technically varmints, Jack, but
Oh, yes, they are.
Oh.
Jack,
muted,
you're
Jack.
muted.
You're muted.
They would absolutely be qualified as varmints from a hunting
Yes.
licensure perspective. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh,
Squirrels are-
cool.
Squirrels are varmints,
Squirrels
yep.
are terrible. I have a vendetta. It's okay.
So, as the package rockets off towards the Izzet, cut back to Titania and Skuz.
Yep.
You're at this table where there's plenty of food. Your grandmother, my wife, is currently occupied at the moment, but what brings you by?
Oh, okay. Well, I just wanted to stop in and ask. Let's see. Trying to remember all the things. Our Griffin Company and I have been having some weird points where time stops, and we've figured out kind of a little bit with what's going on. We asked around a little bit, but I wanted to check to see if there's anything we could do, or if we could figure out. We think it has to do with someone getting in contact with us with yellow eyes, and there were some weird vision things, and I didn't know if you could do that, or I don't know
Your-
a lot about magic, so
Estienne raises his ladle, and like it's a magic wand, just sort of traces a symbol in the air, and as he does so, this sort of light blue energy follows as he just traces this sigil, and then taps it with the ladle and says something in Celestial, which sort of resonates with magical power. And you just sort of feel a warmth, like, passing down your body.
oh, okay.
That's nice.
Well, there's no ongoing contiguous magical effects affecting you at the moment.
Oh, and when I went to talk to the Archbishop, she said when I went and talked to her, that's when it sort of, we didn't know what was going on for a while, and then like we remembered all of the visions and stuff when I went and talked to her.
Well, it's possible that her presence ignited something in you. She is, after all, one of the most powerful beings in our bloodline. Do you have any more details, or is it just randomly you'll get visions?
It's someone getting in contact with us with yellow eyes, and it has it has to do with things happening out in the Shadowfront, and
Well, might be something Amelina might know. And he sort of looks around at the air for something. Love. And then there is just a sort of like a thunderclap. And a hole in the wall just sort of opens up as a woman that looks to have been made of marble walks through. Not like actually marble, but has like sort of a marble skin tone. With like light purple hair sort of spilling down in waves, very bright blue eyes, wearing what is effectively just almost a toga-like robe, rather than more traditional robes. Sort of walks through. Yes, dear. Looks over her. Oh, Titania, it has literally been since you were born that I've seen you last.
Yep. Hi, I can talk and everything now, so it's very exciting.
Yes,
And do magic.
You are quite ambulatory. Give me a nature check, Titania.
Okay. $16.
You're pretty certain your grandmother is an elemental of some kind.
Cool.
Like not this is not a being of the material plane that you are looking at.
That's fair.
You look over at your grandfather, who looks human. You look over at your grandmother, who looks like the statue of a goddess made animate.
Titania, you're... No, Scuzz is not going to say that in Scuzz's voice. Titania, your grandparents seem really nice. Nikki was going to say, Titania, what is the genes in your family that y'all just seem to like get, like what is it? How do we get it?
Divinity. Estinian very rapidly explains both what he said, both what you guys said, and then also his analysis. She looks over.
And I didn't know if it was connected at all with, I don't know how much Mom told you about what happened. I got sick for a little bit, and there was apparently something with like activating the divine blood or something. Because I didn't used to be able to do this. And I'll do like a little druid craft.
Yeah.
Flowers and stuff.
Everyone in our family.
I'm undead.
Line, I can tell. Everyone in our family line has some amount of divinity in their blood, Titania. This manifests in a wide variety of methods and ways. For you, it manifested as magical power. It's also a thing that connects us. All of us are, in a sense, both physically and magically connected to one another. From what you've told us, and from what your grandfather intuited from his scans, it's possible that whatever is causing these things is utilizing that connection. For instance, if our ancestor, the Emperor, wanted to send a message to his family, the fact of his divinity within our blood would make it so that he could simply appear in our minds.
Whoa.
Walling off our senses of everything else, almost as if we were mentally teleported to his presence.
Back on all the things does that seem to track?
Yeah, that's almost exactly what's been happening.
Okay. Does he have yellow eyes or golden eyes?
He doesn't have eyes. He's a magical entity trapped inside a suit of armor. You've met him. You've seen this, and yeah, you've seen like this. It's just a giant suit of armor sitting in a
Okay.
chair.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
Did he used to have eyes?
I don't know.
Because the people we've been seeing are like a group of people, and there's a lot of different voices, and
I can't explain it without having experienced it myself, but if someone is utilizing the divinity in your blood to send messages, then it's possible they're related to you somehow, or they have access to someone who is.
Oh, I know what they look like. Hold on, let me see if I can show you. It's because prestidigitation to show a small image of what the golden-eyed shadow person looks like on the wall.
So a small silhouette
Yep.
of a person with yellow eyes.
more impressive than that.
Tanya and Scuzz
And
are
the next guy
so
gets a
bad at
nosebleed.
giving details.
roll a hit die and take a level of exhaustion.
Oh
Really glad nosebleed.
So you take 8 points of damage from the psychic backlash of utilizing this power.
no! It's because he doesn't really know what this thing looks like, so he's using all of his mental faculties, and he's tired.
I have
now
unlocked
you're at level 2
100% of my
exhaustion.
brain.
Look at Amelina looks at Scuzz and then looks at Titania. Is there anything we can do to help your friend?
Yeah.
I'm learning magic, just bleeding. Magic.
Well, I don't think. Oh, I do have Greater Restoration. I cast Greater Restoration, which I think, yeah, reduction to one of the target's ability sources. That gets rid of exhaustion. A level.
Yeah, I don't know if it's
Right?
all of it or a level of it. Hang on.
I think
I'm at level
greater
2.
restoration. Greater restoration gets rid of one
you
level.
can
of
reduce the
exhaustion.
exhaustion level by 1.
Yeah.
So I cast Greater Restoration, and then just a quick little cure wounds here.
Guz hocks a blood loogie into his wine glass.
Gus is not drinking wine. He talks it into his bucket of potatoes and gravy.
There, you are
Yeah, okay.
fully healed up.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Actually, how much did you do?
8.
Yeah, he had damage from other things earlier.
Okay.
Falling out-
Well,
falling
he's
out
better
of
at
mountains
least.
and-
He is better, but like he's like thanks.
Mhm.
Well, staying for dinner.
Yes. What about your Git and Valdeth?
Speaking of, Valdeth and Gent.
Yeah.
You're at a cafe.
We found a cafe.
Yep.
It's a book.
And orders a cookie.
It's like a combination bookstore and small cafe. So like they've got lots of small finger foods and drinks, and also books that you can peruse while you're there or buy.
Valdeth gets a Tyrion coffee.
Yeah.
Like a regular coffee, except it's made out with iron filings and punches you in the
I,
face.
I
when you
was
swallow.
assuming it's more like American coffee. It's the one that everyone else kind of looks down upon.
Tyrion coffee is like quick and dirty. It's mass produced. It's not refined. It's just like
So it's Starbucks, okay.
yeah, it's basically Starbucks.
No,
coffee.
so that's actually what American diner coffee is.
Oh yeah. Yep. You're
Um,
absolutely right.
There's some fascinating history, World War II stuff
Oh yeah.
around American coffee.
That's why they call it an Americano.
No, they
Oh.
call it an Americana because that's what American soldiers would order in Italy
Yep.
when
It
they
was too
would
strong,
try to
so they
order.
watered it down.
Ah. Yes.
Anyways,
Anyways,
Valdeth and Gent are here.
coffee nerd.
Valdeth has an Americano.
Yeah.
As a Doppio Campana. And so what's going on?
Well, like I say, it's probably just stress, but last night I had a weird dream that's been bothering me all day. I had, and you'll have to follow me from start to finish because it's full of dream logic, so it doesn't exactly
right.
make sense in the telling. There was a weird situation of it had turned out that we had been competing in some kind of points-based situation for apparently the prize of Titania and her affection. I wasn't even aware that it had been going on until it ended. Apparently I had finished just after you and somehow scored more points, but because you had finished first, it didn't matter, and thus you'd won. And it's so by whatever metric of this competition, it was decided that you're the one who was solely deserving of Titania's love. And after that, the two of you just started talking like I was worthless and not worth anything. And it came to light that you'd been planning the entire thing from the start and had always been planning to do that, and Titania was compelled or forced or something and had to go along with whatever it was. And I sat there being completely powerless to solve a situation full of weird tricks and magic that I'm not prepared for. And it ended with me not wanting to live in a world where I was the only person who was what they seemed to be. And I walked off a dock in full armor. And the last thing I remembered before I fell into the water was that you had been about to push me off that dock if I hadn't walked off myself. And I woke up in a cold sweat.
Gods. Love, that's... Alright. And Gent reaches out and just grabs Valdez's face in both his hands. That was a dream. And like you say, we've been going through a great number of things, but if those are the sort of concepts that are running around in your brain while you're sleeping, you did the right thing. We're going to talk about this. What we have here is only going to function if we can talk about things like this. I love both of you. And no one is competing. Neither you nor her are competing for me. You and I are not competing for her, and she and I are not competing for you. All right?
Thank you.
Look, we're going to take some steps on this. All right? And he kind of shoves the coffee into your hand and sort of like all right, take a drink, kind of maneuver.
Takes a drink of the coffee.
Right. Squeezes your hand. Insecurity is something we all deal with. I'm by far the youngest, officially, once again. And that brings some uncertainty with it. I'm sure you've got uncertainties regarding, not being originally from this city. That's something that she and I connect over, that you are having to come to terms with. You and I spend more time in the workshop together. She's not going to have the same facility there, and that's something that we bond over. And if there are things that you need, if there are things that you feel like you're missing out on, something where you have desires or needs that aren't being met, then you, like this, we talk about them and we figure them out, and we handle that both together and separately. All right?
Just my head's been full of politics and magic and rushing towards a goal. We don't know what we're aiming for, and I know in my head that it was just a dream, but it was just bothering me all day.
All right. So, well, I don't know what the rest of the days looks like, but tomorrow I have an appointment with some geists. So what's going to happen is that unless you have more important things to do, I think you and Titania are going to have a morning together. All right?
All right.
And I'm sure she'll be more than happy to spend some quality time with you, help you get your brain settled a bit more, maybe talk about some of the things with her as well, because I know now, but she should probably as well, unless you're not comfortable with that.
It's a little embarrassing to be shaken up by my dreams like that.
It's always a little embarrassing to have to confront your fears out in the broad light of day. But it's nothing to be ashamed of. Neither of us are going to judge you on it, all right? If we can't be vulnerable with each other, then we've got problems.
Thank you, Gant.
Anytime, bud. This is part of what I'm here for.
At which point, Gint takes a sip of the coffee, realizes it's slightly too hot, and does the thing where you burn the inside of your lip.
Well, I tried.
And then because he's a wizard, that's clearly more damage than he has hit points for. So he...
Right, and I immediately fall over unconscious.
Spell slinger, not wizard. Ariel, you find a bar.
Yep.
You start drinking.
Yep.
Make an insight check.
Nice.
I don't know why it rolled advantage, but 19.
19, no, that's 20.
I was gonna get very excited.
So you're sort of reflecting, not really intentionally, but just sort of haphazardly on your past and your life, and the kind of thing that happens when you just start drinking at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Right.
And it sort of hits you like all at once, kind of, this memory that you hadn't really thought about because that part of your life was behind you and sort of door slammed shut. You had come across that symbol before, not just in Siamon's like place and on his person.
Okay.
It was like sort of like graffitied on several like places around some of the graveyards in Taram, which is where you had initially like started your hunt for this necromancer initially, because there were bodies going missing from the graveyard, which is, you know, like not a lot of people get buried in the first place, so when bodies start going missing, that's a problem. And so yeah, it's sort of like recollection hits you as you're down your fifth drink, that you recall seeing that symbol graffitied in the graveyards.
Oh, good. 5 drinks in is definitely the perfect time to go to a graveyard to investigate and hunt down a necromancer.
Yeah, by yourself,
yeah.
Exactly.
Look,
There I go.
that's just people in Atlanta going to the Oakland Cemetery, man.
But yeah, that memory suddenly just sort of snaps into clarity in your mind.
Stands up. Stands up. Takes a moment to steady self after standing up. Puts money down to pay for drinks and starts to head towards the graveyard.
Are you saying all this out loud? Like,
No.
take money out.
Give
Put
me
it
a
on top.
give me a survival check at disadvantage
Okay.
to drunkenly navigate the city.
This is gonna go well.
Sets down the whole bag of gold. Keep the change.
5.
We'll get back to that in a bit.
All right.
Titania and Skuz.
Let off from a net one.
Are you intending to stay with your? Or are you gonna make your goodbyes and head out?
we should probably get back. We left a couple of we're getting engaged actually. But
Congratulations.
thanks.
How many rings?
They didn't manage to find this place, so
How many rings?
3.
Going the direction of your aunt. Well, your great aunt. My daughter has, and she sort of takes a second to count. 7 partners? Yes, 7.
Lucky. That's a lot of business partners.
No,
Not
romantic
business.
romantic partners, Gus.
Right.
Her fingers are covered in rings because they all.
That's a real romantic business.
Every single one of them got down on their knees and proposed to her with a ring. It was marvelous, and I don't know how that girl has the time.
Oh my god, Titania is related to an Otome protagonist.
Look, you work hard for that harem ending. You deserve it at that
do.
point.
You do. Those are
200 plus
not even-
hours. Get
and
all
they
the
often
gifts.
kind of suck. They're kind of like they
Not
don't go all the way.
really just for the completionist, but
Yeah.
it's never satisfying.
No, your side of the family was much less interested in that whole thing, so I'm proud to see you going your own way.
But yeah, we should probably get back. Oh, I guess also, this is awkward. Like how, so if this is gonna keep, I don't know, like if it's gonna keep happening or what. I'm getting more magic all the time, and I don't always know what to do with it. How do you like be awesome?
Well, the first step is not to try to be awesome, but just to do the best you can. Just be yourself, Titania. You are already a wonderful woman of whom most of your family is proud.
Thanks.
The ones that aren't just don't know you, my dear.
Thanks. It was lovely to see you both again.
Lovely to see you too. Please don't let the next time be. How old are you, Titania?
101.
Please don't let the next time be 101 years later.
I will do my best.
She smiles.
Bye. How do we leave?
And she just sort of points behind you where there's a door.
All right. Going. Do you want to go first or after, Scuzz?
Hold in your mind a picture of the person you want to get to when you walk through the door.
Okay.
Scuzz holds on to Titania's hand. We should. I mean, they're your partners.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully they're together. So when we find one, we find the other. Unless one of them went down the waterfall.
Then we should probably find them quickly. I don't think Val swims.
She sounds pretty good when she's not wearing full plate.
Yeah, that's mostly what it is.
The last thing I remember before disappearing was Gint on the side of the wall and Valdith taking the stairs.
Okay. All right. Well, we're gonna try and find Valdith.
You open the
All right.
door, step through, only to hear Gent do the sounds that you make when you burn the inside of your lip as you step through the front door of this cafe.
And Valdeth having a very cathartic bit of laughter.
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
And the two of you see Titania and Scuzz.
That was splendid. You've made it back.
Yes.
That's
Lovely
splendid.
conversation. They don't know anything else about the situation, but that's okay. Have we figured out, did Ariel ever call back?
No, she's probably out
They did
drinking
not.
somewhere. Valdeth says, sort
I'm
of
sure she's
wiping
fine.
her eyes.
She has a lovely alcohol tolerance and is very, very well known for making excellent strategic decisions 98% of the time.
I trust Ariel implicitly to do the right thing.
I love how we're all just building up.
Yeah, totally.
Ariel, make a Constitution saving throw. I just lost all sound. I don't know if it's just me or
10.
everyone else. Okay, 10.
I can hear it.
All right.
So I'm passed out somewhere.
You definitely don't get to the graveyard.
Okay.
Which is probably a good thing.
That's quite a bold statement before determining where I end up.
Valdez, Titania, Gen, Skies, where are you heading next? Home?
Home, probably, I would think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The only other thing I wanted to do was maybe, since we're already up here, stop and talk to the Archdruid.
Yes, right. Druid Circle. That might be worthwhile.
Alright.
See if we can find anything about that crazy woman.
I'll take Skuz back to the house then, Valdez. You and Titania will be fine, I think.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
See ya. Head off.
Come on, buckets.
And as the group splits up yet further, that's where we're going to take a break. If you're watching on Twitch, please stay tuned for these commercial messages. We're back. A dinosaur story. So, Titania, and who was going with Titania to the Druids?
Valdeth.
Valdeth?
Yeah.
And then Gent and Scuzz are heading back home? Hey.
Gent is going to splurge for the super fast air cab ride.
Cool.
Ooh.
Titania and Valdeth, roll me a D100.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
Which one of us?
Both of you.
both of
I'll
us.
roll it.
Both of you.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Okay.
70.
32.
So Valdeth, you, but not Titania, as you're walking towards the Druid's Grove, at one point near the water, your link pearl suddenly kicks in with the sound of Ariel snoring.
Wait. Valdeth, holds up a hand for Titania
Yeah?
to stop for a second.
What?
I just got audio. She's
Oh.
passed the fuck out. Drunk off her ass.
I'm really curious why my unconscious self only chose to broadcast to one specific person.
Well, no, you're broadcasting. God, it's only 300 feet.
Yeah, so Valdeth takes a second and walks in all four directions so that she figures out where the line is.
It's north. It's north of you.
I step.
All right,
up to
she's
it.
north of us.
Oh.
Yeah, my headcanon is you were trying to let people know where you were going, and you passed out mid trying to do that.
That sounds legit.
Just left your cell phone on speaker while you passed
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
Basically, yeah.
Yep. I
That's-
have drunk dialed.
Should we go find her real quick?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, she doesn't sound like she's dying, but that could be bad. I've done that before.
Yeah, should we go pick her up?
Yeah.
All right, let's go. Valdeth will start trying to track.
Yeah, actually, I think I can do that pretty easily because does Ariel have something like a necklace or something in particular she wears? I can just do a locate object on that, right?
Like a link pearl.
Like her specific link
Yeah.
pearl, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Or
it.
her gun.
Or her gun.
Yep. I'm gonna do it on the link pearl. We know that's attached.
So you cast locate object on the link pearl. What's the range on that?
1,000 feet.
Oh yeah, so that's definitely within 300 feet.
Yeah.
So you follow this north. You find the stairs going down to the next layer.
Okay.
Draped across the rail, asleep but holding a gun up and out.
That's safe.
I can't disagree with anything.
How's her unconscious trigger discipline?
Not good. Which is
Okay.
why the guards trying to figure out how to approach haven't approached yet.
Oh dear.
Okay, let's
You have Ariel's like arm is hooked over the rail up underneath it and then hooked on and then up into the ear to hold the link pearl there, and the gun is just
Sorry, that's my friend. We can
Get
take
your
care of
friend.
it.
yeah, Valdeth and Titania sort of walk up behind and just very gently Valdeth reaches out to very gently pry the gun from her hand.
Yeah.
you get the gun out of Ariel's hand.
And then I'm gonna do a lesser restoration
Okay.
on that. So I think. Wait, do I not
Yeah,
have
that
lesser
can
restoration?
cure poison, yeah. If you...
Yeah. What level is that again?
Two?
There.
3.
Lesser is 2.
Do you
Two?
have it prepared is the big question.
I don't have it prepared, so I'm gonna I'll just do a greater restoration would do the same thing. So
Wow.
I just have to spend a higher spell slot.
And also a little bit of gold.
And also money.
Oh, does it require money?
Yep.
Shit,
Yes.
I forgot.
Like 100
Not a
gold.
little bit of money.
Diamond,
either.
diamond
100
dust
gold.
worth 100
That is-
gold,
Okay.
Oh,
yeah, I
no.
do that
which
again.
the spell
Let's-
consumes.
200 gold gone. Hang on. Let me subtract that real quick.
It's all
This
right.
is where I run through
You
money.
just got 1400. So
I know.
There's
I
no
go through money
fucking
very
reason
fast.
to.
I mean, Ario's
Yes,
still
there
asleep
is because it's hilarious.
All right.
Because not being drunk doesn't mean you're not still asleep.
Yeah.
Hi. I'm gonna nudge her gently.
Ario,
Okay.
you are nudged awake.
The gun has been removed from hand.
Yes.
yeah, Valdez is
Okay.
holding it.
Gun no hand hook.
We heard
car
your
door.
call for aid.
So I
Hey,
feel
run,
like
man.
instinctually,
and run.
she's going to reach out and try for essentially an arm lock.
Off to Don. You're not drunk anymore, for whatever it's worth.
Yeah.
But go ahead and make an athletics
So
check.
unarmed. Yep.
Do I do
Versus,
opposing athletics or?
Athletics or acrobatics.
Oh, athletics.
Yeah.
Valdeth, you've seen the slap fight before.
Easy audio with us.
Looks around. Right.
Seems like you had a bit to drink.
Where am I?
On the stairs, heading
Stairs.
down from I list the two
you are
layers you're
currently,
between.
You're currently on the stairs between the second and third layer. Or sorry, no.
Yeah.
Sorry, you're on the stairs between the third and fourth layer. Yeah.
Very well then. Valdeth?
All right,
Without
you're awake.
hand.
You're shit awake now, and she'll give you the gun back.
Holsters. Right.
Anything you need to talk about?
I've woken up on different layers before. It's okay.
The fourth layer was your destination because that's where the noble graveyards are.
Right.
You just
How
kept going.
clearly do you remember that?
That memory is the memory of where that symbol is still there.
Okay. You know what? There's really nothing I can say that makes this any better. So, thank
We're
you.
headed up to the Druid Circle.
Yes, I was heading to the Noble's Graveyard.
Ooh, graveyards.
Which are right next to each other.
Yes.
Any
respectively-
particular
Heading in-
reason?
Respectively, section 1 and 2 of Cybus.
I don't know if she's been buried.
Chasing. Sorry, who? If who's been buried?
A Dairn.
Right, that wasn't why I was going to the graveyard, but good to know.
Okay. Why then?
Chasing a lead.
By yourself.
Well,
The necromancer that killed you last time.
I did not actually say that part.
Oh, okay. I thought that came up like when we had the.
You know that a necromancer
yeah,
killed
yeah,
me
yeah,
at some
yeah.
point. I
Yep,
have not made it clear
Got
that
it.
It's the same one. Yeah.
it's probably not
Okay.
hard to intuit, to be
Yeah.
fair.
Mhm.
But no, she did not make it clear that was.
But it was
Fair.
a necromancer, and this is another one. So
Yes. I admit it was. Actually, I admit nothing.
Other
Why
than to
not?
having been plastered.
Other than to having been drunk, yes.
Okay. You can't
but-
admit you're wrong sometimes, you know.
When I'm wrong, Tanya, I will let you know.
All right, bye.
As the three of you start
We're
walking
headed
in
off.
the same direction.
See you later.
Yeah, as we start walking in the same
I was gonna
direction.
say we're headed
don't
the same
care.
way for a
Bloody
bit.
hell.
I've done this awkward dance before. It's fine.
So the three
That's
of you
To be fair, it looks like the stairs down into layer 4 basically drop off at the graveyard, and then you're heading left into the forest.
Remember that this is a stylized depiction. The stairs are in section 2, but you still have to go in the same direction for a little bit to get to the graveyards.
Right.
The layer is not 5 feet across.
So, how's the day gone?
It's been
Better than
a
yesterday.
hell of a thing.
Fair to say. Yes, hell of a thing.
How about yours?
Oh, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Was
No, I
let's
don't.
call
actually.
it an illuminating day.
Let's call it a killuminating day.
You had a pretty strong reaction to the information you got.
It was a personal stake, yeah.
Alright. I mean, necromancy is sort of a thing you've got a personal vendetta against. Is this closer to home than just that?
As you finish
It's
that
more than
sentence,
just. Oh,
before Ariel can answer, the three of you are walking towards and past the noble graveyard now.
okay.
And all three of you can see the symbol of the shattered skull graffitied onto the side of a mausoleum.
Oh,
Stairs. You could say that.
is that new?
Well, shite.
You can see someone scrubbing it, trying to get it off right now, but it's pretty big. There's like a dragonborn that's just there with a mop and bucket and just.
They come here and do this fairly. I don't know if regular is the correct term to use, but this is where I start. This is where I started my investigation initially. When I
So
was
it's safe.
chasing this person down.
So it's safe to say that whoever is involved with you having an angel in your head is also involved with this lich.
Well, yes and no. Whoever is responsible, not whoever is involved. I don't believe that Siamon is his name. I don't believe that this was his ultimate goal. I believe his ultimate goal was he was attempting to pervert a shrine to Aradnir. And that was when I came upon him.
And that backfired.
And yes, there was a. I died. He escaped. When I was good enough that I was able to negotiate raising clauses in contracts, and when I was brought back, whatever he had done or the shrine itself, I don't know, a mix somewhere in between resulted in
a newer, better you,
this.
as me says in the back of your head.
Yeah, my cousin had, or my niece had one of those. Not what happened to you, but a raising clause.
Oh! I was going to say, this has happened to others, really.
No, but raising clauses, yeah.
Yes.
I've heard of those.
They are. If you're a good enough negotiator to get those in, it is not uncommon. It is not an undangerous line of work. So, only time I've ever had to use it.
Hopefully, you never have to use it again.
But I can if you need it.
good to know.
Though it's a little bit different than a cleric.
Explain.
You might not come back as quite the same thing, so,
Let's not do that then. I'm a little bit tired of coming back from the dead as an entirely new species.
Would you rather we wait then, or if you die?
I legitimately don't know the answer to that.
Fair.
Immediate resurrection in a potentially different body, or wait to get a more traditional version. That's
Let's
a
consider
question
it-
people have to consider.
Let's consider that a situational matter.
Put it on the application forms. It's like, if you
Yeah,
die,
and-
would you accept reincarnation instead of resurrection?
But yes, so
God,
You
that's
only opt out if you're part of a pre-existing religion that disavows any form of resurrection. That religion must have existed continuously for the past 1,000 years.
Oh,
I
no.
guess I'm
Titania
making a
wouldn't be
parody
fine.
of Endurance.
Would be fine with whatever. Anyway. Right.
So my plan, as much as it was a planned start here, attempt to the old lead I had obviously will not be but we can follow that same sort of methods.
Mhm.
Find out, see if there's a pattern, see if there is anything that we can use this as a starting point to locate them. Because if we can locate any of them, then we have a potential in towards
Mm-hmm. That makes a lot of sense.
Rhyhor.
We could definitely do that.
We
You
would
want to
also-
keep going off and doing that, though, the rest of the day? I think Get and Scuzz were headed back to the house. We were going to go up, like I said, to the Druid Circle.
See if potentially any of them have any knowledge of that druid who was staring holes in the ceiling earlier.
That's a good plan. Something about them. I will leave you to that. I guess I'll probably return home.
Okay. See ya. Nice to run into you.
Yes. It just stops. Fishes out 100 gold. Hands it over
To who?
to you.
Okay. What's this for?
Fixing. I don't like owing.
Fixing what?
Or the cleansing, Titania.
Oh, well, it only cost 100.
That's why I gave you 100.
Oh, I thought I heard 1,000. Sorry, that was me.
No.
Got it. It's like, whoa, okay. Oh wait, actually, reincarnate, or yeah. Reincarnate's 1,000. That's why. I
Yes.
got confused. Okay. All right.
So,
Sure.
And she heads off.
Titania and Valdeth, give me an investigation check. Ariel, are you going home or are you going to try to sniff around here first?
Really quick, just a super quick look around.
Give me an
but
investigation
not
check
like
there,
an
too.
in-depth.
Nice.
Or maybe
26.
Investigation.
So the graffiti, no one knows who's putting up the graffiti, because no one ever catches them. But you do check in on your old leads of bodies going missing from the graveyard, and no bodies have been going missing recently.
interesting.
So that, like, you can determine that while while the symbol is going up, no one's actually doing anything, so it might just be that somebody is doing it just because it was a thing that was there previously. And it's harassing the people that have to clean it up, or a couple of other different reasons, but there's no sign of necromantic activity in the graveyard at the moment.
It's those rotten kids with their spray cans and their new wave music.
All right, with the 17 and the 14, Tanya and Valdeth, nobody at the Druid Circle right now knows who you're talking about. The Archdruid is not in town, so you can't really ask him, but nobody else has any recollection of this person. Or
The Archdruid's probably the oldest and most likely to actually recall this person as well.
Yeah,
so.
and you know, it's been a while since they were there, so.
Yeah.
All right.
Eventually, everyone gets home.
Yep.
Scott immediately is like, "Ah, shit, the Buddhatron," and goes to find it.
Not there. There's a hole in the ceiling. Not in the ceiling.
Then
In
it
the,
was
sorry, in
more
the
of a
roof.
dent.
In the roof up top. You can't see it from inside the house.
Yeah, he climbs out and goes like searching on the roof, and he sees the hole, and he's like, "Did I do that? No. Where's the Buddhatron?"
Can I see that from inside the house? Because
No,
I've probably
you
gone
can't.
up
You can't see it from inside the house.
Okay,
You have to be on the roof to see the
cool.
chunk
I'm
missing.
not going up there.
Slips back in, goes to oh no, I forgot his name again. The housekeeper man.
Athian?
Cathian, thank you.
On your way, you do see the note on the board that says, "Don't leave the Buddhatron on the roof." Signed, Carolina.
Don't leave magical items able to be operated by varmints on the roof.
That.
If it says that, he needs to see if he's
He
smart
knows what a
enough.
varmint is.
What's a varmint?
Gen's gonna putter and then have an early
Okay.
bedtime.
Scuzz goes to find Carolina. Pokes his head into her room. Carolina, where's the Buddhatron?
We returned it. We were causing trouble for the neighbors.
Did you send it back with my notes?
Ithram put a journal in there, yes.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Please don't bring things like that back again.
Why?
Because they caused trouble for the neighbors, and also they almost got you and Ithram killed. Mostly the second one, but you know.
I know that was Aaron trying to say the right thing, but I like the idea that Carolina stumbled over that for a second.
That feels like a 100% Freudian slip.
I mean, it wasn't, but
Yeah, I know.
look, I can't keep hot and cold straight half the time. I mix up first and second.
It's okay. I get left and right mixed up all the time. I give horrible directions. Okay. I did want to look. The amount of time. I don't want to get into it. Scott's trying to say something to Carolina. Don't distract me. I did technically only about the Buddhatron because Lavisa wanted me to test it out in exchange for the sneaky fun time cloak. So I'm sorry for disturbing the neighbors and almost getting us killed for science.
It's fine. I've come to expect this from thee, is it? I'm still worried that cloak has side effects that we haven't seen yet, but...
It is like, sometimes it makes me nauseous.
So, Scuzz, when you feel nauseous, your balance is probably worse. You're probably a little bit slower than you would otherwise be, right?
Yeah.
Would you say that is precisely a mechanical opposite of the advantages of being invisible and thus sneakier?
Well, if I'm invisible, that means I get to go slower. And if I'm not feeling super good, it's okay to take my time.
Yeah, but you still might be more likely to trip into things than you'd otherwise.
It's
I
very
worry
true.
about you. I worry about you getting really hurt from the is it stuff. And just in general. But
It is just so far too late for that sort of worry.
it's fine. It's fine. Mostly, I just wanted it not to be creating golems all the time because
Yeah, I know that's
I
a
like
definite
eating my
effect.
food. I don't like having to fight it because it has decided to disagree with me.
No, that's definitely
You hear
at least like let the food come out kind of like burnt or ashen, not fighting you.
You hear the sound of squirrels dancing down the wall.
There is a local druid. Anyway. Yeah, Fooditron got returned along with notes. We should be careful in the future not to destroy the neighborhood. We would get fined. By which I probably mean Valdeth would get fined.
Is the homeowners association gonna come at us like no more golems in your lawn?
Speaking of which,
I feel like they're probably pretty lax in this neighborhood, but
Valdeth, the door knocks.
Oops.
I checked the door.
It is. Hang on.
The homeowner association.
No.
Your lawn is an inch too tall.
There's no HOA in Taram. What?
Especially not in Genties of all places.
Especially not in Genties.
I feel like the one in Genties is more about no necromancy on the front lawn. We're not sure whose necromancy it is.
Marinus, the leader of the Fishman's Hook, your neighbors, a large blue triton with a trident, is sort of standing there. And sort of like as you open it, hi, Valdeth. Do you guys know where this giant, like, golem stitched together from fried chicken carcasses came from?
Valdeth looks around the corner.
And there is just a pile of fried chicken that is dead now on the ground with like various spears and things sticking out of it.
I mean, that's the first I've seen it, but I mean, it looks like good eating.
I wouldn't. We've definitely poisoned it a few times. No one saw where it came from, and it just started rampaging through the mercenary yard, and figured I'd ask.
I mean, one of those showed up, not the same food, yesterday?
Earlier this morning.
This morning?
Well, no,
Yeah,
I was thinking the soup golem.
Oh, yeah, the soup golem.
Oh, that was
The
yesterday.
golem was the day before, yeah.
Yeah, that one was made of soup, though.
There is some fucking food wizard around here making golems. He sort of mutters to himself. Just
Oh my god.
Fucking wizards.
walks back towards the dead food golem.
Titania
Oh my
is...
god, I need a colomancy wizard now.
What do you think Titania's great-grandfather is?
Would it be colomancy or gastromancy would be the magic?
Gastromancy. For
Yeah.
I
sure.
like gastromancy. That sounds better.
Yeah, I'd go gastromancy too.
Yeah. Titania is making questionnaires for all the people who are not Ghent or Valdeth. It will say on it, would you like, in the case of death, would you like to be reincarnated or not? Yes or no, and then it will have an asterisk, and then the back is a small, It starts out very like official sounding, and then just gradually goes. It's expensive, and you may not come back as the same person. Type of person.
Same species.
Species. There are details. Someone else knows details. Ask Ithram. And then I put them so under Ithram's store, under Carolina's, under Ariel's, and then she'll knock on Scuss's door.
You get back in shockingly low turnaround time. Carolina's, where the yes box has been ticked, and then underneath there is 3 paragraphs of specifications of which situations and circumstances constitute acceptable resurrection or reincarnation, and which situations and circumstances were not. And among them are provisions for in what context it is acceptable to raise me as a zombie. Basically, only if it's absolutely an emergency and you're gonna die otherwise.
Cool. Thanks, Carolina. It's real thorough.
Zombies only in absolute extremis.
Only in absolute extremis. By the way, you should realize that if you do that, you cannot later resurrect me.
Although I think you can be reincarnated if you get turned into a zombie.
I think you need true
I'll look that up.
reincarnation for that, but
Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
I don't remember. Reincarnation isn't cleric spell.
Anyway, Scuzz opens the door. Hi, Tanya.
Hi. I had a questionnaire for you, and then I realized that you're dead?
No, I'm very much alive. I've just been brought back a whole bunch.
Uh-huh. Okay, so I was wondering, and I hold out the thing for you, if you want to be reincarnated in case, something happens. Because we're maybe going to fight a lich or etc.
I mean, if you need me, bring me back. But I think it'd be nice to die. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do you have specific preferences as to plant life that you want, sort of sprouting out of you? Because I do that too. I offer a wide range of services.
Just a really big tree. If I can be under a really big tree.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
I like you, Scuzz, by the way. I hug you real hard.
Oh. He hugs you back.
I don't want this to happen, but
Oh no, I don't want to die. But I feel like if this happens again, it'll be harder.
Mm-hmm.
So officially, yes, you can reincarnate someone who was previously animated with the Animate Dead spell, provided that you reincarnate them within 10 days.
Okay. Got it. Yeah, so that's why I can't do it.
Jack,
you're
Jack.
I would disagree, but I will save that theory craft discussion for
Revivify. Revivify would also work. The problem being that Revivify only works within a minute, and if you've been animated as a corpse, it's been longer than a minute.
Yep.
I mean, not necessarily if you kill that corpse real quick.
Well, no, because Animate Dead takes more than a minute to cast.
Yes,
Unless
but there are
you're
things that you can do to
me,
raise
'cause I
somebody
do
as a
it,
zombie
it's
that don't
fast.
require the spell.
Yeah.
Like Finger of Death.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. Okay.
The intricacies of raising zombies and
Anyways.
If you raise someone as a zombie immediately and you cast Revivify on them while they're a zombie,
does it work
still
because their
work?
soul is not free.
Okay.
Yep.
Your soul has to be free in order for you to come back.
Scuzz also writes he adds some provisions bring me back if you need me.
Actually, specifically, the soul has to be free and the target has to be willing.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So you have to kill the zombie first and then Revivify.
Yeah.
Mhm. But
Bring me back if you
know,
need me.
I can do zombies.
You Either you muted or my internet decided to stop broadcasting audio.
Me?
Was not you.
Okay.
My internet connection
I
is
heard
unstable, it says again.
Okay.
Uh,
Weird. Yeah, no, I could be a zombie. I'm not a zombie forever, right?
No, it's only for like a minute, maybe. Yeah, I wouldn't do it forever.
Okay. Then yeah, I could be a zombie.
Okay.
Where
is this conversation taking place?
In
the
Scott's
hallway.
room.
In Scott's room?
Actually, probably not.
There are walls.
Yeah, you guys can hear this. You hear Scott's go
I was about
like,
to say,
How
isn't,
Scott-
isn't Scott's room right next to Ariel's room?
Yes.
I believe so. There's a knock on the door.
Hi.
Door opens. For the record, do not ever raise me as a zombie.
Okay. Noted. Did you fill out the form?
I did not yet.
Okay.
I am
You're
still
gonna want to do that
absorbing.
because
I
I
am
won't
still.
remember otherwise.
I am still. But you will.
Not a zombie.
Not a zombie.
Mhm.
Or a skeleton. Or a ghoul. A ghast.
Can't do those.
Shadow. Anything that makes me. No. Vampire.
I don't want to be a vampire. That sounds bad.
Oh, they're kind of.
I don't think you ever would, but lich.
Wouldn't it be funny if I turned into a lich? Huh?
No.
You'd be a goblet.
Is
That's
there
a fun
anything else
word.
that needs to happen today, or can we go to the next day?
We can.
This is important.
That's good to go to the next day.
Yeah.
Ithram finishes copying down a scroll and now has remove curse in his spellbook.
For what it's worth, if you ask Valdeth, she would rather be traditionally raised just because it's very hard to do like political dwarven family stuff if you're no longer a dwarf.
Oh yeah.
But
No,
she would-
we'll get to that conversation.
Oh
She
yeah,
just
okay.
didn't ask you to
It's
Okay.
because
more impersonal to
Yes.
send a little form letter, which
Yes.
maybe isn't the best thing to do with the people you're marrying.
See, I thought the next phrase was going to be, yeah, you didn't ask you because you don't get a choice, because you don't get to die, ever.
So,
So next day,
Tanya's not that kind of death druid.
I'm waiting for everyone to say yes. We can go the next day.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
We're gonna
Oh, donate my body when it's dead to the Easy College. That's what I wanted to do. Thank you. Sorry, I had to do that.
We're gonna fast forward a little bit to Gent's meeting with the Geists.
I think I
Yeah,
volunteered to take him there. Or...
You absolutely
Yeah.
could have.
Mm-hmm. Gent would probably have woken up fairly early, decided he wanted to walk up there, so gotten Carolina to come along. He'll leave a note under Titania's door, basically saying, headed to my Geist meeting, expect us back roughly this time, have fun on your date. And slide that under
Which
her
is
bed.
news to Tanya.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Oh my fucking god.
So you go to the the guy's headquarters in Day.
Oh.
Carolina escorts you as far as Carolina is allowed, because once the actual interview, it's just you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you sit down across from this female drow who has been leading the investigation. It's good to meet you once again, Mr. Minar. I've just got a few questions before I direct you to your family's accountant for the inheritance and will reading.
Of course.
Do you know why someone would claim to be your uncle?
There's a pause, and then the family is not without wealth and influence. They have a long history of both martial and magical accomplishments. There are likely artifacts, items, money. There's any number of reasons someone would attempt to impersonate a member of the Minar family.
Not impersonate.
Oh, right.
Fabricate. According to our diviners, you have no blood relative that is an uncle. Your mother's an
So
only
you're
child.
saying someone...
You got erased.
Where did my
I remember
cousins from, then?
Your cousins are like cousins. Like it's like you know,
Cousins?
yeah, it's
Okay.
like your grandfather's brother's children's children.
Right. Oh, right. Well, that's... Again, strange, but not without possible explanation as to why someone might be motivated that way.
The second one is slightly more personal. Do you have any idea as to why your father would have completely written your mother out of his will, or your grandfather would have completely written your mother out of his will?
Well, if he thought he had another child who was of better repute, my mother's indiscretion, as he liked to term it, would have it tarnished her reputation in the eyes of both my grandparents and my existence as a result and consequence of that. But given that I believe they thought, for lack of a better term, I'm still calling him Uncle Alfenbar, was considered presumed dead, I don't know. I don't know why.
Well, we've confirmed that none of your Griffin Company were involved in the event. Our diviners are very thorough. Though we were not able to see the person who orchestrated the events, we were able to confirm all of your locations at the time. So your steel hearts are not under any suspicion. You might be relieved to hear. As for the rest, you have a meeting immediately following this one at the branch of the Tyrian Bank here in Day, with one Alfred Tenpenny, who's apparently your family's accountant.
Are there further questions that you need from me at the moment, or should I go attend Master Tenpenny's
Those
appointment?
two are the principal questions in our investigation remaining as yet unanswered. Do you have any questions for us?
No, I don't believe so, unless you weren't able to see who actively determine who did it. Was there any detail you were able to glean from my cousin Adairn's body's presence there?
Not in specific. The body was not involved in any of the attack in any way. Not certain exactly what had been done to it prior, but the spell that had animated it from the dead had long worn off.
I see. If anything regarding your questions occurs to me later, I'll be sure to inform your offices.
Mr. Tenpenny is waiting for you, so whenever you're ready.
Thank you. Yes. All right. And he will go collect Carolina and see if she wants to come along for a follow-up meeting.
Yeah.
All right. Off to the bank then, I suppose. This is going to be an interesting morning, I guess.
So, you go to the bank. You head in. You're directed to a desk. And a very well-dressed dwarf, clean-shaven, not even the stubble that a lot of Tyrian dwarves typically have completely clean.
Mm-hmm.
Hair tied back into a braided ponytail. Hello there, young Master Minar. I'm Alfred Tenpenny, the accountant for the Minar family. It's a pleasure to finally meet you.
Likewise, sir.
Do have a seat. I'll aim over the chair and sit down and go over things. Well then, I shall proceed with the reading of the will if you're prepared.
Prepared as I can be, I suppose.
He begins to read. There's a lot of legalese that he just sort of goes through in this very practiced old man style. But the gist of it is, there were a lot of things left to a lot of people, and there is one exclusionary clause which was under no circumstances should any of the inheritance go to your mom.
He's not surprised.
And your name is completely left out of it.
Yep.
Never mentioned.
Mm-hmm. So I'm not really named. Why should I be here for the reading of this?
Well, according to Terrian law, you are the last remaining heir of the family that is qualified to be an heir based on the exclusionary clauses within the contract, and thus all the remains of the estate go to you, which include...
What's up?
And he begins to read off a list of contents. The contents of the Minar family vaults, which currently house 140,000 silver pieces, 72,000 gold pieces, 48,000 platinum pieces, 40,000 gold worth of gems, 30,000 gold worth of artwork, and 5 pieces of Minar heritage, as the vault listing reads.
All right. Should we go have a look?
Certainly, if you'd like.
Let's.
He'll lead you down to the vault.
There's a halberd in there.
Opens it up. Inside this vault, there are, just pay what he said, a whole fuck ton of money and art and gems. And on
Wizard Harry.
And on 5 pedestals, there is a black silk handkerchief by itself, a staff with sort of like a little plaque that says the staff of Kerval Minar. A book.
Which is my grandfather's name, right?
Yep. A book, which has a little plaque that says the Book of Gwythir Minar. And a cloak, which has a little plaque that says the Cloak of Branwen Minar. And a small wooden box, which when opened up reveals a deck of tarot cards.
Okay.
My last group just had a deck of anything.
If you
so
count
I'm so
them,
excited.
there are 21 cards in the deck.
Okay.
I really, really want that to be one of those decks that summons all the illusionary animals.
All right. Well, Gen's gonna make an Arcana check. 13. Is a 13 Arcana enough to ID the black handkerchief at least?
Nope.
Nope. Okay.
You can tell they're all magical, though.
Mm-hmm.
I have put the contents of the Minar family vault into your journal.
Okay.
Tenpenny continues on. If you'd like to retrieve all the belongings here, you absolutely can. If you'd also like us to continue our managing of your family's fortunes, we can do that here as well.
Yes, and yes, I believe. Carolina, can you help me carry some of these things?
Yeah. I have a bag of holding. So actually, Carolina will just hand Gent her bag of holding.
Yep.
For the time
He'll
being.
just drop all 5 of the items in there, and as far as the money and everything else goes, just leave that sitting for now. He knows where it is, at least.
If you'd like to access it, you can access your family vault at any of the branches of the Tyrian Bank.
Thank you.
And if you'd like to make a withdrawal, you simply need to ask. Alternatively, we will continue. Alternatively, so long as it's still here and so long as you approve, we will continue to reinvest and refinance your family's fortunes.
Brilliant. Was there anything regarding the estate, mansion, etc.?
The estate, unfortunately, was not owned wholly by the Minar family, so it has returned to the city of Terra.
Understandable. All right. Well, thank you so much for your assistance. Yep. It happened.
They lost their deposit on that place when they turned it into a necromancy cave. Of Hell.
It's amazing how little of your security deposit goes into cleaning up from mass murders. All right, well, let's get these back to Ithram, shall we?
Taking any of the money?
You know that I can also identify things. How are you holding up?
Then, bit of shock. Did not expect anything of this magnitude.
Piles of gold and platinum.
Right. Yep. He's just gonna think about it and then grab 1,000 platinum real quick just to have on hand.
All right. Go. You can go. I will make this. Actually, no, I won't make it editable because there are things you can't see yet. Once these are all identified, I will make it editable for you, and you can keep track.
Okay.
You can put things that don't need to be seen in the GM notes, and even if it's editable, they won't be able to see.
Oh, you can't see them if you're. Oh, really?
Yep.
In that case, boom.
Yeah.
There, it's now editable. You can keep track. You can keep track in the document.
Okay, cool.
Because the GM notes are just for the GM.
Well, I'm sure there's people you want to talk to about this more than me, but
But if you're able to take a look at them, yes, on the cab ride down or something.
Yeah, easy enough. No pressure to do this right now. To decide right now what you want to do with anything. I know that this is probably a very significant change.
It is. But if Durin's work in Grifftop was fruitful, this will at least give us a decent beginning to investment on property improvements.
As Gint goes, I
That's how
can't
you'd
count
like
that
to spend
high.
it. Yeah. And John, I will spend my spell slots to speed up the process.
Okay. So you identify. We'll just say you identify all the things.
Yeah.
The black silk handkerchief, which has its own carrying box, is a well of many worlds. The staff of Kerval Minar is a staff of thunder and lightning. The book of Gwithir Minar is a manual of golems.
Oh.
The cloak of Branwyn Minar is a cloak of Arachnida. And the deck of tarot cards is a 21 count deck of many things.
Dope.
Oh no.
Just little raccoon
So
hands.
The
Just
first
like, give
thing
it to me.
Carolina says when finishing doing it is, I want to preface this by saying that the things your family has are scary and encouraging you to keep them away from both Titania and Skuz. And potentially also Ithram, though I think that would more be out of enthusiasm than out of
Recklessness?
the other kind. Yeah,
So
reckless enthusiasm.
a 21 count deck of many things would imply that the fool or the jester has
Correct.
already been drawn.
Those are the only two that can be missing.
Yeah.
Or that this world's deck of many things does not perfectly map onto the Faerunian one.
Shut up, you with your logic.
Sorry. That said, we'll start with the simplest one. This is a staff of thunder and lightning. It does thunder and lightning.
This is the simple one.
This is a manual of golems. It tells you how to make golems. I'm still looking these up.
Somebody just got
Whoa.
their mic
Okay.
destroyed.
Wow.
Nikki, your mic did not like that. I don't know what happened.
That was a-
everyone else heard that. Because
Yeah,
I thought I was hallucinating. Like,
Do you want to try again, Nikki?
That was some Black Mirror shit right there, man.
Oh,
Okay,
nope,
nope.
nope.
Nope. Nope.
Unplug and replug your mic.
sorry.
Or swap mics.
We're
or
not
something.
yelling at you. We're yelling at the technology that happens to be in your house. Um, yeah. The Manual of Golems tells you how to make golems. It's not. Be careful when reading.
Do we know what type of Manual of Golems it is? Because we're supposed to roll a d20 if it's a randomly picked one.
See, apparently you take psychic damage when trying to figure it out, so I don't know if that is counteracted by Identify or
I wasn't
not.
sure if that was something that Identify would tell, or if it's something
Identify.
that
You have to read it to find out. Identify won't tell
Okay.
You'd have to read it to find out, and it will melt your brain, so just be a little bit careful.
I like my brain. Right.
Although it only fries your brain if you aren't someone who can actually use the manual.
I'm giving the simplified versions now.
Yeah.
This is a cloak of Arachnida. It has a variety of benefits, but basically allows you spider mobility.
Ooh, like my shoes.
Yeah, like an expanded version of your shoes. Though some of its features are always active. It's essentially an upgrade of your shoes. And this is a deck of many things. I'm not sure if you've read about them. There were books. I'm not really sure which of those books were fictional, actually. It means
21. How many horror stories have I heard about the deck of many things for an Arcana check?
You have heard it is a deck of cards that ranges from that typically is found ranging from 22 to 13 cards, depending on how many have been drawn previously. Presumably, one of them has been drawn from this previously before it was put in the vault. Depending on what you draw, different things happen. Magic things happen.
Magic things happen. Most of the stories that I'm familiar with, dangerous things, even bad things, good things, but incredibly powerful things. So, ultimately, it's your item and your choice. I would caution against using it, and I would definitely caution against letting someone with impulsive or experimental tendencies even know you have it. I might put it back in the vault if I was you, or I could go store it in another dimension. That would also keep it out of our hair.
You could sell it to the weird temple.
No. But it's yours. It's a family heirloom.
Titania, Gent gets more money than God. We could make more, though.
That's not Titania saying it.
Titania's like, let me take a look at that.
And Titania will want to take a draw or 3.
Or 21.
Actually, I haven't used it today. I'm going to call upon my arcane wisdom, dubious knowledge, and see what I know about deck of many things beyond what I assume I glean from Identify.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, 18.
Yeah, so you know the general gist of a deck of many things. You also know that it's not the sort of thing you leave anywhere. Traditionally, so historically, from accounts that you've read, people that aren't careful with their deck of many things end up coming to very bad ends. And that's both drawing it and also keeping an eye on it. Because if it gets out of your possession or you take your eyes off of it, sometimes bad things happen.
Okay. And the other side of it is you should store it carefully.
Yeah.
Because the deck wants to exist and cause problems.
It wants to be used.
It wants to be used. And it can get testy if it's just left in a barrel somewhere. not that it necessarily has an independent sentience, but more in the way that, like, you personify things to explain concepts.
It can be fickle around the deck of many things.
Look, I'm not saying don't use it, and I'm not saying use it. I'm saying risk-aware and cautious use is...
First thing Gent does if he draws one of those cards is the one that has all of your material possessions in the world just fade.
Right, exactly. You just draw ruin right off the bat, and then you're like, okay, well, that was fun. That was a good 5 minutes.
You could become immensely powerful and wealthy. You could also piss off another demon.
Right. Well, I think that isolation might be good for that deck, at least. I'll need a little bit of time to think that over, but we'll probably...
Yeah.
Staff, handkerchief, right. I'm guessing the staff and the book should probably be looked at by Ithramond or Titania there.
I just want to point out the staff is actually a badass martial weapon.
Yeah, I'm a martial fighter. It's a quarterstaff, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
a badass
I can use a
quarterstaff.
quarterstaff. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can use a quarterstaff. It's one of
All
the
right. Nope.
tiny list of druid weapons.
Yeah, same with wizards.
But like it's not even just like a spellcaster's quarterstaff. It's a quarterstaff that just fucks shit up.
Yeah, Ithram or Titania definitely should take a look at the manual, though. Because I think that both of you have the requisite level.
It's a staff that fucks shit up. It's also a good staff for a spellcaster to have because it can fuck shit up.
Yeah, but like a fighter can like wreck people's faces with a staff of thunder and lightning.
Yeah, it's true.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming along with me on this. It's a bit...
Oh, yeah.
I'm still finding equilibrium with this whole sort of thing.
Changes take time. It took me years to be able to look at what was left of my past and family, and that was only by accident. Whatever you need.
Thank you.
And with that, we'll be ending for this week. Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Goodbye.